You guys, things just got messy. Austin McBroom is calling out Catherine, claiming she's twisting the truth in her upcoming book. And honestly, the way he's talking, he's basically confirming that those leaked chapters are 100% real. He admits to cheating, yes. But now he's accusing her of cheating too, dabbling in some dangerous spiritual practices, and even putting their kids at risk. Oh, and Catherine's current boyfriend is even chiming in after Austin dragged him into the drama. It's a lot. Let's get into it. So Catherine recently announced her book drops in July, and 3 chapters just leaked. Austin didn't confirm if they were legit at first, but now he's addressing the content head on, basically validating it all. What's wild is that he admits, yeah, I cheated, but then
I don't know about you guys, but I find it very odd that the first chapter of her book is about me and not about her. It's about me and how I was a terrible person and terrible husband when this book is supposed to be an autobiography about her life. It could have been about anything else. She talks about her family in the book. She talks about ayahuasca. She talks about her new guy. But she wanted to use me in this snippet to reel everybody in for clickbait and to monetize from the book.
immediately turns it around, saying Catherine cheated too at the end of their relationship, and even accuses her of being unsafe around their kids because of the spiritual journey she's on. But first, Austin starts by saying he doesn't even understand why he's in the book at all. Why is the first chapter about me?
Catherine and I have the best co-parenting situation that any parent can ever ask for. We actually have a better relationship now than we did when we were married. I look at Catherine as a best friend, someone that I talk to every day, not just about our kids, but about life. She called me last week about her boyfriend, how he had a homeless guy sleeping in his car. I was just over her house bringing the kids pizza, not just the kids, but her and her boyfriend pizza. We were all sitting in her living room eating the pizza, laughing and smiling.
Not about her, not her journey. It's just all about me being a bad husband and a terrible person. He says she could have talked about her childhood, her family, her current boyfriend, but instead, she used him to sell the story and get attention. Classic clickbait, according to him. What makes this whole thing confusing is that Austin goes on to say that
we went through our separation and we decided to announce it to the world. Her and I were trying to figure out what was the best way of doing it. I felt the best way of doing it was coming out with a YouTube video together, her and I side by side. And I even told her that, hey, I'll do all the talking, I'll take full accountability for my actions and all the mistakes that I've made. I said, you don't have to say anything if you don't want. Even though you've made mistakes and I've made mistakes, I'll go ahead and take all the blame. She didn't want to do that. So it left me with no choice but to make my own video. I decided to make my own YouTube video, and in that video, I basically exposed myself. I did make this video. It caused me to seek it elsewhere. It caused me to make bad decisions. I admit, I've failed as a husband.
until recently, things between them were really good. They were co-parenting well. He says they're best friends, and even mentions hanging out with her and her boyfriend, all chilling at her house, eating pizza together. We have a better relationship now than we did when we were married. I talk to her every day. So, if everything was so friendly, why is he now saying he was worried about her behavior? Is it peace or problems? Austin claims that when they split, he wanted to make a YouTube video owning up.
She didn't want me to post it, and this is what she had to say about it. Also want you guys to know that I'm gonna have receipts throughout this entire video, and the reason why I have some of these receipts is because I knew that one day there was a possibility of something like this happening. Here is a recording which was on January 13th, which was the day after I filmed this video. And this was her response on why she felt I shouldn't post the video. So as you heard what she said that if I was gonna release this video, I would get a lot of backlash, as if she cared about me getting backlash. What is happening now?
To his mistakes, but Catherine didn't want him to. He even filmed a solo version, saying he'd take all the blame.
I had another girl there that I was supposedly talking to and I was cheating on her with, when that is not true at all. Think about this. Why would I invite another girl there when this whole event is about my family? And this event is about me and Catherine's bond. Why would I want that girl to see that? Me hugging and kissing and grabbing my wife's ass, me holding my wife's hand. Very unfortunate and sad because now she turned one of our biggest moments as a family and as a brand into a mockery.
But never posted it because she asked him not to. He shows a clip where he basically confesses. It caused me to seek it elsewhere. I made bad decisions. I failed as a husband. Then he drops a bombshell.
When it comes to me stepping out of my marriage, I 100% stepped out of my marriage and it was completely wrong for me to do it. I take full accountability. If I can go back and change it, I would. And I'm sorry for that. I truly am. But when it comes to her acting like she had no idea what was going on, that is a complete lie. Catherine knew what I was dealing with for a very long time. I would come to her and I would voice how I feel about how I felt like I was getting no affection from her. There was a year period where we had no sex, and I would vent to her telling her what I needed. And her exact words verbatim, all my kids, she said, just don't make me look dumb. Don't embarrass me. I don't know what that means to you guys, but to me, it sounds like, go do whatever you need to do because I'm not capable of giving you what you need. So Catherine tells you guys that back in 2018, 2019, I basically ruined her life because I stepped out of our marriage and she had no idea, when that is not true at all. She knew exactly what I was doing and when I was doing it.
He recorded a conversation where Catherine apparently says she didn't want him posting it because he'd face too much backlash. Now, recording someone
so much to where she stayed with me another 5-6 years after that. She continued to film every YouTube video with me after that. She even went as far as defending me, defending my name when people would ask her about me stepping out. Even to where a few months after that event of her being so hurt that a few months later, she even says, I'm her soulmate.
My soulmate, I know for a fact that it's Austin.
So someone that is so hurt and so embarrassed and so unseen, a few months later that this video was recorded, you can go and check it out on our YouTube channel. She says that I'm her soulmate and life partner.
without permission in California is illegal, so this part gets murky. Did she know she was being recorded? Probably not. But Austin says he kept these receipts just in case. Next, Austin slams one specific story from her book, the Ace Family charity event. Catherine allegedly found out he had another girl there and felt hurt by his behavior. Austin says that's totally false. Why would I bring another woman to an event all about my family and my relationship with Catherine?
She was telling me how one moment she feels like she's a psychic. The next moment she felt like she was a healer. The next moment she turned me into a mermaid. I was being as supportive as I could. She even went as far as telling me that she was the reincarnated Virgin Mary. You guys put yourself in my shoes, and if your significant other told you that they were the Virgin Mary and no longer wanted to have sex with you, what would you do? So as she was getting more connected to the spiritual side, we started growing further apart, and it was really sad because our conversations were only about spirituality. This is where, during this process and her going out, traveling and going on retreats, she found somebody. And I came across their messages and I didn't know what to make of it. I couldn't comprehend it, I couldn't understand it. But she told me that they were friends that met through their spiritual journey on one of these retreats. Just friends. Here are the messages that I came across that I didn't what to think of it. And that's why I took her word and believed her, because I had no idea what it meant. What does that mean? What type of language is that? No idea. But as time was going on, it started to show that this is somebody that she was connecting with. And unfortunately, when you guys found out, I found out way, way before then.
It makes no sense. He says that instead of it being a positive memory, she turned it into a mockery, and that really hurt him. Austin then takes it even further, saying Catherine always knew about his cheating.
Decided to do the ayahuasca ceremony and her hosting them at her house, in her home where my kids lay their head. It got so bad. Sorry, I promised myself I wasn't even gonna fucking cry in this video because I'm just angry. It got so bad to the point where good friends of hers came to me and Catherine forced them to do it, just like she forced me many of times, but I turned it down because I didn't believe in it. She forced her friends to do it, and they came to me very concerned because they didn't have a good experience with their ayahuasca. And they said, Austin, I'm very concerned, not only for Catherine, but for your kids, because this is where they sometimes sleep. Random people that come in and out of her house that she doesn't know, that are all participating in this illegal substance together, that are all hallucinating and having all different types of experiences. I knew I really only had two options. Either I get full custody of the kids, or I spend more time with them to protect them. Here is a photo of all of them in Catherine's house, experiencing the ayahuasca journey that they had together. And this boy right here is only 12 years old, doing ayahuasca. Mind you, no one here is a professional.
And even gave him permission in a way. She told me, just don't make me look dumb. Don't embarrass me. That to me felt like, do what you need to do. He's basically saying she wasn't blindsided like the book suggests, that she knew the whole time and even stayed with him for years afterward, defending him in public and on YouTube. She even called me her soulmate after all that. Now this part gets really dark. Austin starts talking about Catherine's spiritual journey, saying it began to drive a wedge between them. One day she's a healer, the next she says she's the Virgin Mary. She turned me into a mermaid. He says she began traveling for retreats, and during that time, he found messages between her and another man, messages he couldn't even understand. He says she claimed they were just friends, but it felt like more. Eventually, he says he realized they were getting closer, emotionally and maybe physically, while she insisted it was spiritual. He says he found out about this guy way before the public did. And finally, he gets emotional when talking about what he claims is his biggest worry, their children. He accuses Catherine of using ayahuasca, even hosting ceremonies at their house with strangers around their kids. Friends came to me. They said Catherine forced them to do it. They were scared, and I'm scared for my kids. Austin says Catherine tried to get him to do ayahuasca multiple times, but he refused. He ends the video on an emotional note, crying, angry, and saying people are finally seeing the side of Catherine he's been concerned about. So, Austin McBroom admits to cheating, says Catherine knew all about it, and now he's accusing her of cheating too, using spiritual practices recklessly, and even putting their kids at risk. Meanwhile, Catherine's boyfriend is jumping in, defending her after Austin dragged him into the mix. It's a mess. And we're still only talking about the first 3 leaked chapters of this book. July is gonna be wild. Guys, I love you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video. Bye.